Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Tech Showdown. Today we're checking out the Asus ROG Strix B350-F gaming motherboard. So let's jump right into it then. So of course this is going to support all your AM4 Ryzen CPUs and of course the new APUs and overclocking, which is why you should always go for a B350 over an A320. It'll support dual channel DDR4 memory up to 64 gigabytes of it and up to 3200 megahertz in its OC mode. Now audio wise, it's going with the Supreme FX S1220A audio codec, which is a bit of a mouthful. This is actually pretty good as far as onboard audio goes. You shouldn't have an issue here at all. I actually really quite liked it. And it also has the Asus Safe Slot PCI reinforcement. This is going to be good, especially if you're switching out the GPUs quite a bit. Now let's take a tour of the motherboard then, and we'll start with the top left. So we see the 8-pin CPU power connector like normal. VRM wise, it's going with a 4+4 phase VRM, which is better than the 4+2 phase VRM you get on the Prime B350 Plus. It also has bigger heat sinks than the Prime. CPU fan and CPU optional connectors in the normal spot. Non-reinforced RAM slots, which is normal for a B350. Many of them don't have that. Your motherboard connector and USB 3.0 connector in the usual spot there. Then towards the middle we see a pump header, another fan header, a RGB header, which is an interesting spot right in the middle, and an M.2 slot, which is above the graphics card. We always like to see that rather than underneath it. PCI wise, we're seeing two reinforced PCI x16 physical slots. One of them is by 16, the other one is by 8, so keep that in mind. No SLI going on here, guys, though you can do crossfire. Then you get another non-reinforced by 16 physical slot down the bottom there, and then of course your 3 PCI x1 slots for all your wireless adapters and things like that. 6 SATA 6 ports, which are all right angled, which is nice to see over on the right hand side, bottom right hand side. Then you have on the bottom there your front panel connections plus 2 more fan headers. Another RGB header beside the clear RTC RAM header and a thermal sensor connector, which is some people will like. 2 USB 2.0 headers, TPM header, COM connector, and of course your front panel audio connector. Now let's go around to the back and look at the I/O, because it's actually got a very, very good I/O for a B350. So you get 2 USB 3.1 Gen 1 ports, those are the ones on the left there. Beside them you have the DisplayPort and HDMI port for the APU users out there. Then you have 2 more USB 3.1, but these are Gen 2 ports. Then just standard 2 USB 2.0 ports, an RJ45 port above 2 more USB 3.1 Gen 1 ports like the first ones we talked about, and then of course all your standard audio connections. Now let's take a look at the BIOS then. So the BIOS itself is very well laid out. I would say it's very easy to use. It has everything you need. The only thing I think some people might find missing is the manual voltage adjustment. It just has the offset, which is fine. Some people actually prefer that. Maybe newer users would rather it just be manual, but I don't think it's that big of a deal really. You can work around it and you can definitely learn how to just use the offset. Updating the BIOS is very, very easy, very straightforward, and it also has a lot of good settings for overclockers out there, so I think a lot of enthusiasts would really enjoy this motherboard. I think it still has a lot of adjustments there as far as the B350 goes for it getting the BIOS and getting your overclock set up exactly the way you like. Which brings us to the conclusion then, and what do I make of the Asus ROG Strix B350-F? So right now in New Zealand at Playtech, it's going for 209 New Zealand dollars, which is getting up there for a B350. However, it does seem to be a bit better than the Prime B350 Plus, which is a little bit cheaper. It definitely looks better than the Prime B350 Plus. It has a really solid layout. The I/O is fantastic for a B350, and the BIOS is easy to use and straightforward. Overall, I would say this might be my new favorite B350. It's definitely a very, very solid motherboard, and I would recommend it. I think most users would really like it, especially the enthusiasts, and it is still a decent deal at the current price, although if you're someone that's on a bit more of a budget, maybe wait for it to go on special or something like that and catch yourself a really, really good deal. And I thank you all for watching this video. Please subscribe to Tech Showdown if you haven't already and like the video. And as always, I'll see you guys next time.